Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Let's talk Sabbath day thoughts and reflections. Giving all praises to the Most High Yah, for without Him there is no me. And welcome, friends, once again to the Sabbath day with Achoti speaks. So, the title of this show and reflections and thoughts. I woke up this morning, always praying for Yasharala, always praying for my fellow Hebrew Israelites, my brother and my sister. And thought came to me that, what's really ailing our people and why can't we get that unity that, we so deserve, we so need, that's so wanting in this hour. And I thought about how we have all these divisions amongst us, lots of it is based on doctrine. Um, Even within theologies, there's different doctrines that we get hung up on, and amongst ourselves, and we always say we are the Most High's chosen people. So follow me. Where are the Hebrew Israelites going wrong? And that's including those who say that they are Hebrew Israelites. There was this great big uproar last year when a basketball player came out and just displayed a poster of a movie. And he was in the news for a number of months after that surrounding the one issue. Are Hebrew Israelites black? Um, that had the black community in the uproar, and um, it had a lot of people asking, does it really matter? Well, when it's all said and done, you have to be living in a bubble if that didn't cause you to question you whether you're leaning one way or the other. And then I look at the broader scheme of things as to where our mind frame is focused on right now as a collective, as a whole body of people. We're focused right now on reparations, right? So the majority of us are on cold with that. Um, and then there's some who are in opposition with that. Follow me now and see how this all works into this Sabbath day revelation I had, right? How we're getting it wrong, how the Israelites are getting it wrong, how FBA getting it wrong, how ADOS getting it wrong, how B1 getting it wrong when it comes to where we are and what role we're supposed to play right now in this hour. And until we get this right, uh, we will never really fulfill that prophecy. We have fulfilled prophecy in part, and a lot of us have not even recognized it. And that's going to be the main sticking point to this revelation, is that we have not even recognized that we are fulfilling prophecy right now, the things that we're doing, the things that we're saying. And then there are those who are just stuck in the old ways and have not seen their full self come to fruition. So with that being said, we're going to delve right into the main issue. A lot of us believe that, yes, we're a chosen people, right? Some believe, well, the Israelites lost all that prestige when they didn't obey the Most High and His Ten Commandments, so therefore it was open up to everybody. Salvation, that is, or partaking in the covenant, some would say, or making it to the kingdom of heaven on earth, right? And then Some may argue that the whole Christian faith by Bible thing is total man worship and by way of the Bible, because man wrote the Bible, and that we should need to get back to our true heritage cultures from our African native roots. And then there's some that says, yeah, your Christian beliefs, Bible is wrong, as well as your whole thought that you were taken and brought here on slave ships. You are indigenous to this land. See how we're all over the place? And guess what? We just need to just pick one, right? Just pick one and fix one. So, but we can't do that because we haven't acknowledged the elephant in the room is that even though we're all divided amongst ourselves as a nation of people that don't still to this day know what to call yourselves, everything but child of God, right? Hold that thought. At the same time, we're so divided with that, we're not seeing who's the real enemy and what we should be really truly recognizing and fixing. Because when you're truthful with yourself and you look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, how can I fix me? That's when the revelations of turning things around for the positive good, the righteous way, starts to be revealed to you. So what I'm saying to my people is that we are fulfilling prophecy when we behave in such ways, show characteristics that we are what? Jealous of those that say they're Jews and are not, but do lie. We're jealous so much more for some of us that we want to imitate them, their way of life, right? We're jealous of them, so we imitate them. And then there's some of us who are jealous of them and won't, can't wait for that day that judgment is going to come to them, all of them, to their understanding. I talked about the two sectors of peoples that we're talking about when it breaks down to it. Yes, you're jealous. Either you're jealous and you want to be like you, just so jealous that you're going to be like them, or you're so jealous that you almost hate them and you can't wait to see judgment come upon them. And that's the fulfillment of prophecy. And that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to show you right there in scripture that yes, we were supposed to become jealous of these people in this time. And we were supposed to be furious with these people. And we've seen it over and over and over again. Soon as a white man or someone from another nation or people, soon as they say nigger, then we want to cancel them. Like, really, that first thing is a trigger word. Trigger word. Talking about trigger words. Where's that deep rooted seat hatred, right? So I'm not trying to give nobody a pass. I'm just trying to help us understand what we're missing and how we're actually fulfilling prophecy and we're missing it, right? So that we can move on to more positive parts of the prophecies. Once you see how it's you are fitting and playing a role right now today. So when you accept the bad, you also got to accept the good. So you can't go with good first because we all fall short, right? We're all filthy rags, right? So just understand. So I'm gonna go through it for the first time, just off of the spirit, nothing written down. We're gonna share my screen and we're gonna go through it, script after script, and see, where the truth lies. Okay? So give me a moment. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen here and that you all can see what I'm saying. Alright? So okay, looks like we're good there. So of course I'm gonna use the universal book King James Bible because that's what everyone is used to. That's what, the language is plain English that the majority of us speak, right? So before we start, we'll just say this one verse for the day. gets us going in the mood and understanding where we are. In God, I will praise His word. In God, I have put my trust. In Yah, I will praise His word. In Yah, I will put my trust. You have Psalms 56, verse 4 from the King James Version. And I just ask that the Most High right now decrease me and increase Him as we get started to attempt to just read the scriptures and see what the Most High has said about um, Yasharalah's jealousy of a particular nation and how that jealousy has now manifested as hate, self hate, and then hate for one another. So let's go. So we're going to start with Deuteronomy. So the spirit was just gonna just Google what I'm thinking in my head, right? When the Most High said, "I will make you jealous with the nation that's not a nation." Um, No, remember all this. None of this is scripted, but I just remember verses. Different verses. Um, that just come to my mind, right? So then we start with this one, right? Answering that question: why are we so jealous, right? Why we hate so much? Why we want to wish harm to our fellow brethren, and why do we hate other nations to the point of just indignation, hate, just indignation, unrighteous indignation, though, I might add. Don't shoot the messenger. But Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21 says, "They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation." Right? So the Most High is saying right there that Yasharallah, Israel, his chosen people, has provoked him to anger so much so that he's moved to jealousy, right? He's jealous of the fact that I can't believe this, almost like your wife cheating on you, right? So he's moved to in that kind of jealous kind of way, and then so now I'm gonna make you jealous because I feel you make me feel a certain kind of way. You provoke me to anger. I'm gonna make you feel a kind of way. Now I'm gonna go allow another nation to love on me, to call on me, to worship me, and in the end, after all these things have come upon you, then you will be jealous of those people that I'm gonna send, and it's gonna be a foolish nation. That means foolish meaning they have no idea, concept of what God is, or what to love God is, or had experienced any of His marvelous works and things that He did for this one group of nation of people. Right? Talking about Yasharal, aka Israel. So that's so you say so. Okay, what does that have to do with us? Right now, today, we are definitely going in hard on the other nations. Like I mentioned, what are we missing when the Most High said that He promised this gonna happen? Did it not happen? Of course it did, because that's why a lot of us don't like Paul, right? But and a lot of us just totally want to dismiss the fact that Paul was sent unto a certain group of people to help to help fulfill that prophecy that was talked about in Deuteronomy 32, verse 21. So let's go to get what Paul said about it. I do believe it was Paul. Um, when he says, I think believe it's Romans, um, I Paul, an apostle to the Gentile, apostle to the Gentile. right? Let's see where that's at. I want to see 77 verses, Romans 11. Let's see. Let's see if this one's at. Oh, yeah, that's it. Romans chapter 11, verse 13, where he says, "For I speak to you Gentiles," meaning not Hebrew Israelites. I'm not talking to you Hebrew Israelites. I'm talking to you Gentiles. "For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office." So I bring that verse up just to show you in contrast to the other verse where the Most High is speaking, and he's speaking about moving him to anger, and as much to make the Israelites jealous with a foolish nature, a foolish nature. Now you're gonna be so angry with these nations of people. So who were this nation of people? The Gentiles. Who were the Gentiles? Well, the Gentiles were a mixture of people from days of equity, um, days of antiquity, right? So you could begin in Genesis chapter 10. That gives you a lineage, a breakdown of who the people were, those people that got off the boat, right? So when you look at the children of Japheth, right, right, and we're just gonna go Genesis chapter 10, right? So Genesis chapter 10 says details the generations after the flood. The generations of Noah's son are given in this chapter, beginning with the sons of Japheth. The world is repopulated by the sons of Noah, Shem, and Ham, and Japheth. There is a special note to take heed, and that is that sons of Japheth are referred to as Gentiles. So this is from BibleStudyMinistry.com, right? So sons of Japheth were called Gentiles. So Paul was sent to the Gentiles. He says, "For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office." Right? So he's telling you right there, I'm not speaking to Israelites because I have not been sent. So who sent Paul? Paul said Yeshua stopped him on Damascus, and basically that's when he was converted back to his original way of life, his original culture, and began to speak unto the Gentiles. So is this when prophecy was fulfilled? When or the beginning of fulfillment of prophecy, to help bring in the fulfillment of prophecy, to help usher in that feeling of hate, disdain, and straight up jealousy that we have for these other nations, and we display on a very, very, very daily basis, right? So we can't even keep ourselves together amongst ourselves when we are in front of those who have been oppressing us. Where's our Kuth? We've lost our Kuth, right? So even though we argue amongst ourselves and we're jealous of these people, you're fulfilling prophecy. You can't change it, you can't stop it. But I'm just here to show you why, until we stop it, until we change it. It's can't be changed. You have to make a decision. Whose team are you really on? So there's really no difference between ADOs and what we call indigenous aboriginals. There's really no difference between B1 and FBA because you all want the same thing. A nation of people that want to be repaired. But until you acknowledge where your hate, your desire, and your uh, just lust after this thing called reparations, why do you need that? To prove what? To do what? To achieve what? If in the end it's all given to you no matter. Just by the mere fact that you were born. Don't believe me? Watch. I'll go here. Just off the top of my head. You are predestined. So then I know a lot of you is gonna say Romans, okay, you're going to Paul. Okay. So let's get some other Bible verse that talks about predestination long before Paul. Right? Oh, okay, I just thought of one. Came to my head. Let's leave that there. Take that one. I knew you in the room. There it is. So let's go get, and this is a good one too, because it is fitting for this topic of fulfilling prophecy, right? And how we are jealous of the other nations. So it's Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. So let's go here. Let's see. Let's get Jeremiah. And I love comments, so feel free to leave the comments. Chapter 1. And we're going to read it in context. We're going to get the whole thing, right? Starting at verse 1. It says, the words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anatoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, until the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, the king of Judah, until the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Now here we go. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. He's talking to Jeremiah. So the Most High knows you from birth. Already know who you are. Already know what your station is. Now, why would you want to choose him and accept all his people that he needs to fight against the oppressor. That we say over and over and over and over again, based on the characteristics and the things that they've done, they're the seeds of Satan, right? You know, we know them by the works that they do, right? So if we know that that's the work of Satan through the will of the Most High, so that we can be jealous, acknowledge we're jealous, right? And then change our behavior. Be what they call the guided light, right? Say, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So, what makes you think in this hour there can't be other prophets or other priests, right? That may come forth and speak some portions of truth, not everything that the children of Yasharal are speaking is totally bonkers and out the window. But we have to stop being so vain and hear what the Most High is doing. He says, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not of God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. And then he came along with Paul, and Paul gave them basically, um, Paul gave them rights, right? The Most High allowed this because what they claimed that, uh, Yeshua, Yeshua, Christ, Jesus the Christ, died for everybody's sins. That's what they preach. So that's what Paul gave to them right here. He says, for I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are of my flesh, meaning my brothers, and might save some of them. For if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead? For if the fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the fruit be holy, so are the branches. He's telling the Gentiles, accept them that are of my flesh, because I'm offering this and magnifying you Gentiles, this prophecy that you're going to love Christ or you're going to face dire uh, consequences. You're going to choose a Messiah. It's going to come a time where you or your children and your children's children is going to have to choose a Messiah. You're going to have to make a decision. This is basically what Paul is teaching. You're going to have to live righteously, or you're going to have a terrible end. You're not going to see the rights to eternal life. Basically, that's what Paul is teaching. So we were mad at that. He offered it to them. That's the covenant the Most High made with us. You feel like somebody done stole your man. You feel like somebody done stole your man. He's stepping out on you, right? That's how you're supposed to feel right now in this hour. That's how you're supposed to feel. You're for fulfilling that prophecy, right? Fulfilling that prophecy. So let's see where else did I pull up. Yeah, that was that. We got the Romans and we covered that. So if anybody else have any other verses where we could, show where, you know, prophecy is being fulfilled with how we're moving with these other nations, right? One other thing that comes to mind is when I believe it's in Isaiah, when Isaiah spoke of um, how they're going to cleave unto Israel, right? Nations, all different kind of nations are going to cleave unto Israel, right? Um, let's see. And they cleave unto the rock, others cleave. Let's see. Fire, Joshua. Yeah, a lot of this is talking about how they will cleave unto the Most High. hmm Yeah, that's about right. Um, okay, let's see. Uh, Talking about the vengeance, right? So that might be a good way to end all this. I don't know if something else might come to my mind, but I don't think that this is it, right? But the Most High did say that in Ezekiel 25:14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people, Israel, Yasharah, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Most High. So, so there's gonna come a time, and you can read all of 25. There is gonna come a time where these so-called people are gonna have to recompense um, for atrocities, right? So, but we being not learned in the scriptures and knowing that we serve an awesome God when we serve Him in sincerity and truth and honesty, right? And that He's gonna allow certain things to take place up until a certain part when He's just gonna cut it off. And I thank the Most High for the grace, right? This is what I'm feeling right now. I just thank the Most High for the grace that I have an opportunity to repair of that relationship, seal it up. May that I be totally forgiven for my past transgression. So while we're so-called arguing amongst each other, we should never forget that we need to make sure that we're right with Him for forgiveness of your sins, right? And hope that you're counted one way or the other, because there is a branch which Paul is talking about, right? So that it goes both ways. Neither can the Gentiles boast, right? Neither can that foolish nation go be so foolish as to boast within themselves to think that you can't be turned back and accepted by the Most High and partake in that true covenant. But as long as we're biting biting each other's back, bite backbiting, you know, as long as we're fighting amongst each other and stand divided and having a point to prove to the point that you're so proud, you know what I mean, that you can't be wrong and you can't take an L in your theology or your plans, or you know there's many members even to your body. You need your eyes to be able to see, you need your hands to be able to do, You need your brain to be able to navigate through. So look at your brother, your sister, your kinsman, just as that, a member of one body. And what do we call ourselves? What do we call ourselves? See, once you acknowledge that, once you come together on that, they will never ever respect you. They will never, 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 ever respect you. Where's your loyalty, right? Who do you pledge your allegiance to? Whose are you? Whose are you? So with that, I read it to you again. Deuteronomy 32:21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not a God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy. With those which are not a people, I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. And with that, family, I'm going to say thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And I want to wish you a very, very happy, happy Shabbat. Shalom.